right, studio time check says it's 33 minutes past 6 a.m. Today is the day before the last day in the year. What a blessing to see today. Good morning to you, dear listener. Thank you for tuning to Wells Radio 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio, your number one family radio in the whole of all your states. Today is the 30th day in December of 2025. Good morning to you, and thank you for staying right here on Wells Radio 89.3 FM. It's a wonderful Tuesday morning. The weather's cool, not cold, so you can have your bath with cold water or hot water, whichever one you decide to. You're welcome. It's Perspectives Unlimited, where we take a look at headlines and stories making the rounds across the different dailies in Nigeria. This is one of our first major shows of the day because we want you to be informed as you leave your homes, as you go out into the day. We want you to be informed of the things that are happening in the country, and that's why we bring you Perspectives Unlimited, where we take a look at the major headlines across the different dailies this morning. Okay, so it's another time for us to talk about that. My name is Bolanle Oduekun Ayola. Quickly, I'd like you to follow us on all our social media platforms. You'll find us on Facebook at Wells Radio 893 FM fan page. It's a special fan page created for our dear listeners. You also find us on Instagram, TikTok, and X at Wells Radio 893. Now, you can also listen to us directly via our website. It's www.wellsradio893.com. You can find us there. Okay, you can also find us on a host of online radio platforms. Find us on radiogarden.com, onlineradiobox.net.com as well, onlineradiobox.net as well. You can listen to us even if you're not in Ibadan or your state. We've gone global. We're not just local. You can listen to us from anywhere. You can also watch us live on our Facebook fan page. We're currently live at the moment. So go on Facebook at Wells Radio 893 FM fan page and make sure to like the live video, comment, and share. Don't enjoy the good program alone. My name is Bolanle Oduekun Ayola, and let's get into what we have for you today. I have the front pages of the Nigerian, the Punch newspaper, the Daily Trust newspaper, as well as the This Day newspaper, and we'll be taking a look at the Guardian rather than the This Day, the Guardian newspaper, and together we'll be taking a look at the headlines and of course the stories behind the headlines. So welcome once again, and thank you for joining us this morning. Quickly, let's start from the Punch newspaper, where the lead headline says U.S. airstrikes. DHQ steps up watch on fleeing terrorists. ISR monitoring ISWAP members' movements. Retired generals differ over U.S. troops deployment. That story is on page 2 of the Punch newspaper. More headlines. Tax laws. Reps caucus opposes rollout. Court battle begins on Wednesday. That story is on page 7. NNPC writes off 4 trillion naira subsidy other federal government debts. You find that story on page 33 of the Punch newspaper. More headlines. Banditry, 8 killed in Kebbi attack, 16 abducted in Zamfara. That's on page 3. Restoration begins as grid collapse cuts power nationwide. That's also on page 33. Port Harcourt refinery supplies 3,150 diesel trucks despite shutdown. That's on page 34. Ogun man kills stepbrother over 4,000 naira debt. That's the reason on pages 4 and 5. PDP draws battle line as Wike attacks Makinde Fubara. That's on page 19. Party politics. Fatal crash. Tinubu, Atiku, others condole with Joshua. Ex-world boxing champion in stable condition, says Ogun government. That's the reason on page 46 of the Punch newspaper. And finally, NNPC writes up 4 trillion naira subsidy other federal government debts. That's on page 33 of the Punch newspaper this morning. More headlines. Re-gazetting tax laws illegal, say lawyers. That's on pages 3 and 4 of the Daily Trust newspaper this morning. Northern elders to Nigerians oppose federal government's reckless borrowings. That's on page 10. Agonies, pains of airport concessionaires. That's on page 23. Yobe, Kidney disease researchers detect metal in water samples. That's on page 38. 7 journalists killed in Gombe auto crash. You find that story on page 10. Gombe governor signs 617.95 billion naira 2026 budget into law, appropriates 12 billion naira for Northern Security Fund. More headlines. Anthony Joshua survives as 2 die in Ogun road accidents. That's on page 6. Kano governors planned defection on Seto's Kwakwaso's camp. That story is on page 5 of the Daily Trust newspaper this morning. We'll make do with that. We'll take a look at some of these headlines this morning quickly and, discuss as many as time will allow us to. Analyst here, Mr. Chukwemeka Munachi. So good morning to you.
Good morning, Bola.
How do you do?
I'm fine, by the special grace of God.
We thank God for life.
Yes.
It's almost the end of the year. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling okay, and I'm so grateful to God for seeing us through from January till this point in time. It can only be God. We weathered a lot of storms. We became sick and got healed. We came to work very early in the morning, fully protected. There are certain things we shouldn't take for granted.
True.
We sleep, we wake up. I have had cause to hear of people who slept healthy and they didn't wake up, who slept in the night, and in the midnight there were health crises here and there. But the only problem we have is that we look at when we don't have money, we keep blaming God. Money is not really the only blessing that God can bestow on human being. The fact that you are alive, the fact that you can eat by yourself, the fact that you can even leave your bedroom and go out, the fact that you can swallow food, you can urinate, you can fart. I had a case of a man. The family was running around because the man couldn't fart.
It's actually a big problem.
Yes. You understand? People were running up and down, spending money.
If you can't pass gas is a big problem. Yes. You spend a lot of money.
There was a case in a church where every Sunday an old woman will come out and say, "Thank God, I urinated very well. Thank God I was able to move around." The pastor got angry because it became a ritual every Sunday until later the pastor he couldn't urinate. He couldn't go to toilet. He now understood why that woman was always coming out to thank God. But we always look at, I don't have a car, I don't have a house, my bank account is 0. Is that the only blessing? You can have all these things and yet you cannot. Look, people should not waste their health in pursuit of wealth. Because when you get the wealth, you have to spend it in pursuit of your health. I am always grateful to God. That's why I don't age. I look younger. No, I'm telling you the secret. I'm always
join our Facebook Live right now. You see him, live.
Yes,
very agile.
Yes, gray hairs may be all over the place, but I'm very strong, and I give God the glory. You understand? Because I don't sleep on things. I go to bed, I forget everything because nobody gets out of this place alive. Nobody, Bola, no matter what, you can't get out of this place alive.
You may wonder why, is this not a political show? Why people getting so emotional? It's just that it's honestly amazing to see that we've been able to weather the storm that this year has brought. We talked about so many issues on Perspectives Unlimited.
A lot.
That, sometimes you think that how will tomorrow be? How are we going to? And it's so amazing that we're still here on the 30th of December. Tomorrow is the 31st. For me, something even happened yesterday.
You told me the story. It was God that really showed up on your behalf.
Yeah, really showed up on my behalf. And so, you know how human beings, if we've not really seen danger face to face,
you won't understand.
And so so if you it's fine if you don't understand why we're so much into the mood of Thanksgiving. But I pray that you'd, have an encounter with God to make you understand that you need to be thankful. It's just
very
extremely
thankful, very
important.
Grateful.
While we're thankful, we're also still paying attention to the things happening in the country. We'll take a look at the front pages of the dailies. I already brought you the headlines, and then we'll get straight into talking about some of the stories making the rounds this morning on these dailies. We had the Punch newspaper and the Daily Trust newspaper will also take stories from the Nigerian Tribune newspaper as well. On the front page of the Punch newspaper, the lead headline says U.S. airstrikes, DHQ steps up watch on fleeing terrorists, ISR monitoring ISWAP members' movement, retired generals differ over U.S. troops deployment. That's the lead headline on the front page of the Punch newspaper. I'll read a bit of it and then we'll take the story itself. Now it says the Nigerian military is monitoring Boko Haram and Islamic State for West Africa province fighters who are fleeing their hideouts following the recent United States airstrikes, the Punch has learned. U.S. President Donald Trump announced on Christmas Day that the American military conducted lethal strikes against Islamic State targets in northwestern Nigeria. The federal government confirmed the operation, describing it as part of ongoing counterterrorism cooperation. And following the strikes, there were reports of movement by armed groups in other areas. The chairman of the Traditional Council in West Local Government Area of Benue State, Daniel Abomse, according to a report by Sunday Punch, raised concern over what he described as an influx of armed herders into some communities after the attack. Community leaders in Tangaza, Gudu, and parts of Ilela in Sokoto State also said that there had been noticeable dislocation and movement by the armed groups. Some of them who spoke on condition of anonymity said suspected bandits were seen moving in smaller groups towards remote forest corridors, while others were believed to be attempted to cross into neighboring border communities. However, senior military officials who spoke with Punch correspondents on Monday said the military was tracking the movement of the terrorists. He said, "We know they are fleeing, we have information on that, and we are working on it. They are being monitored and their movements are being tracked." Now, to our analysts this morning, let's start with the high rate of misinformation that is out there. Now, over the weekend, I did see that some people wanted, were trying to, how do I put this? Were sharing misinformation. And, this is also something that is a big concern at this moment in this war of terror. Some people had said, and even foreign media carried these stories, CNN, ABC, saying that the area that was, the area the attack was done, the people that were living there had said, I saw this on Threads, they said, the people living there said, they didn't have any issues with terrorists or bandits. Nobody was staying there. The strikes did not meet anyone, and there was so much fuss about it to say that, probably Donald Trump just wasted the let's say the bomb or the airship. Yes. And so we started asking questions. Okay, if you say you truly hit, people, are there pictures? Is there evidence? And yesterday, videos circulated about 20 to 30 bodies thoroughly burnt, circulating, on social media. Are we going to see, a lot of propaganda when it comes to fighting the terror we have in Nigeria at the moment?
Bola, Nigeria is not fighting. Nigeria is fighting a monster that is hell-bent on destroying and stabilizing this country. Because in the midst of this chaos, they survive, they thrive, they hold the people down through several means. So you don't expect them to go to bed and allow something that will upset the apple cart to be happening around them. They will let loose their foot soldiers on the social media. They will spend money on misinformation. They will like to debunk whatever that is going on. I saw a little bit of such narrative on the social media, and until people in Sokoto began to react and began to, even a television station went to Sokoto State. The reporter went there, and the man on the ground reported vividly what actually took place in Sokoto State. So that put paid to all the misinformation that is flying out there. America cannot come here to waste their bomb and fuel, bombing forest for no reason. They have been coming from Ghana, flying over Nigeria for mapping.
Which they have resumed again.
You understand? But the sponsors of this evil against the Nigerian state will never rest. I'm telling you, they are the ones.
So Nigerians must be careful of
yes,
propaganda.
They are the ones
media.
putting this thing out in the public domain to discredit the geopolitical intervention that we are witnessing from America. So there's no way they will fold their hands and allow this thing to fly. They will definitely misinform the people. Now, why should the Nigerian soldiers say they are monitoring movements? Why are they movements if nothing was
Let's
struck?
talk about the movement. Now, we know that when these people came into Nigeria, it was because they had been chased from,
Central African Republic.
Yes, from Mali,
from the Sahel region,
from those regions, and then we learned local media really raised alarm that time to say that there was a heavy influx of these people coming in trailer loads.
Yes,
into Nigeria, into the northern Nigeria, and that's when we started having majority of this herdsmen issues. Before it was Boko Haram. Boko Haram issue wasn't a herdsmen farmer crisis, but it was when we started seeing their large influx that we started having herdsmen and farmer clashes. Now, isn't it then a good thing if the intelligence is saying that they started moving towards the border areas and gradually moving out?
That movement.
And what can we do to seal this up?
Yes.
Because our borders are very porous.
Remember that the influx you mentioned took place during the Buhari locust years we witnessed in Nigeria, where he made it a state policy. People were coming in from all over West Africa into Nigeria. That was when he wanted to resettle these non-Nigerians with his Ruga. Ruga came on board, and they wanted to disperse them across the region. If Nigerian people didn't stand up, this man would have had his way. And this thing we are talking right now would have been everywhere. You understand? Not only in the north. But thank God that he failed woefully. Woefully. Nigerian people stood their ground. They came in livestock or something, all in a way to bring in Ruga again. Now, there is no country with porous borders. Trump said something that is only hell that has no border. Why did he make that comment? Because in hellfire, anybody can stray in and die. You can walk in, but in heaven, there is a border. You can't just walk in. You can't just stray in. You must be prepared to get into that place. So Nigeria became a place where people were coming from all over West Africa in the name of I'm a header. And they came in here, and they started doing the unthinkable. And they started killing people. And now the state empowered them through so-called appeasement. There's no nation worth its onions in the whole world that will enter into agreement with terrorists. They don't repent. So
what do we do?
What we do is...
because it's one thing to chase them away, and it's another thing to ensure that this doesn't happen again. So how do we ensure that this doesn't happen again?
What we must do to ensure that it doesn't happen again is to secure the borders. The Nigerian borders should no longer be ATM, where people will come in, pay money, and enter anyhow. But if you have ever gone out of this country, before you enter any border, they will scrutinize you. But in Nigeria, appears that anybody can stray in, anybody can walk in, just come in and they enter, and they go and check this mobile here. Most of these Okada riders are not even Nigerians. Some of them are from Sudan. They don't even have any paper to stay here. So we must secure our borders if we are interested in securing our state. And the government must not play politics with security. I'm telling you, go after the sponsors. UAE acted on our behalf by giving us the names of terrorism sponsors. Have we acted on what UAE gave to us? No, that is state failure. Now, America, through Trump, has come to act, you understand, on our behalf again. And some people are putting false narratives on the social media that America is bombing the wrong place. How can they come all the way from? Do you know what it takes to employ Tomahawk? Do you know what it takes to bring all these things that they are using on our behalf? Do you know what it takes? Some people that are speaking from both sides of the mouth, America, they are coming for our oil. All manner of nonsense we'll be hearing. These people are the people that are sponsoring terrorism in Nigeria. Nigerian state under President Bolanle Tinubu must wake up to its responsibility of protecting lives and property.
Now, Some, former military top brass have expressed their disappointment with the fact that Nigeria is working in tandem with the United States to stop insecurity in Nigeria. They're saying this is, some have said it's undermining our sovereignty. Some have said it's going to weaken our internal cohesion. These people have been in the military before. Many of them retired now. And insecurity has continued to thrive. What conclusion are we reaching here?
You see these people that are talking, forget about them. Sovereignty, what is sovereignty when there's no security? Tell me. Is this security over sovereignty or sovereignty over insecurity?
So you're not worried that you're not worried that after this, if the US helps us get this, they become heroes, and you're not worried that maybe they could probably ask for things that are beyond the capacity of
whatever they want to ask. Let them ask. Let Nigerians be alive. What have we been doing with the things we have? These so-called military experts and everything. Were they not in this country when these terrorists and bandits were running amok? What did they tell our president to do? Did they go to him to tell him that, look, we can tackle this? What I know is that America will not put their boot on the ground. They can't. But they will work in tandem with Nigerian security architecture if we are sincere. Honestly, because the problem of insecurity in Nigeria is lack of transparency, duplicity. You understand? People are not sincere. People are benefiting from this rot. And they know that anything that will fight this insecurity will affect them. Do you know America came up with a Magnitsky Act? Do you know what is in that act? That act is that assets for future. Visa ban on entities and entities that are fingered as terrorism sponsors. That's why you can't see all these monarchs now talking, because they know that America, they are all of them and the radar of America, because they know much about these things. How can something be happening in your domain and you don't know? How can you? It does. You see, so the problem is that the president must be very, very careful. America will not put their boot on the ground. I can assure you that. But they will do all this thing they are doing. And my prayer is that Trump should finish what he has started, irrespective of the hula baloo people are raising, because people are when Nigerians were being killed and slaughtered, what did they do? Everybody kept quiet. Now somebody is coming to do what you refuse to do, and you are talking that he's undermining security, our sovereignty. Where was our sovereignty when these headers troop into Nigeria and running amok, killing people? Didn't we have sovereignty at that time? What did they do about they violated our sovereignty? So if America has come to help us, it is at our own invitation. They didn't violate our sovereignty because we invited them. But the people that are killing Nigerians from Sahel, they are the ones that even violated our sovereignty.
Did we
because
really
we didn't
invite them, or did they sort of bully their way in?
You see, America?
Yes.
But no. Go and read what the Minister of Foreign Affairs said, Tuga. Yes. He said America did not act alone.
Yes, it was a joint.
Fine.
I'm saying that. Did we really invite them, or did Donald Trump bully Nigeria into accepting them?
No, he didn't bully us. National Security Advisor, all of them, they went to America. They met in Washington.
They went to America because Trump had designated us as a country of particular concern, yes, and called us a disgraced country.
It became a joint something. America didn't act alone. But the people that came from Sahel and violated our sovereignty, raping our women, killing our daughters, roasting people they will roast, making Nigerians to pay ransom before going to, kidnapping people and making people to pay money before going to their farms. They are the ones that violated our sovereignty, if you ask me. Thank you, Bola.
Thank you so much. All right. Shortly, we'll take a break in about a minute. We see your calls, but we only start taking calls after the break. So don't worry. We know you have a lot to tell us, but we'll take a break shortly. When we come back, we'll be talking about the tax laws.
Okay.
This is because just yesterday, the minority caucus in the House opposed the implementation of the newly enacted tax laws, and also the National Association of Nigerian Students as well, both demanding an immediate suspension of the rollout. Meanwhile, we heard that they want to re-gazette. Some lawyers have also said that re-gazetting these tax laws is, illegal. And so there's just so much to talk about when it comes to the tax laws. We'll also talk about the emergency services in Nigeria and the services they provide. Do those services really cater to emergency? We'll take a short break on Perspectives Unlimited. When we come back, we'll be able to discuss all of this. So you know what? Don't go anywhere. Please just stay with us and stay tuned to Wells Radio 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio.
FM, your preferred wholesome radio.
How long will it take you to confirm payment? I have been waiting for the past 1 hour. I'm so sorry. Our network is slow. I will just run out of data. Same excuse yesterday. It is unacceptable, please. You better switch to One Data Internet Service. One Data? Yes, One Data. One Data is an internet service provider with the best alternative and solution for unlimited speed. One Data provides fast and reliable internet service to organizations, homes, and places of interest in Nigeria. With One Data, you get to enjoy the premium internet service with dedicated unlimited internet speed at all times, 24/7 fantastic customer service and support, and you enjoy a 1-month free subscription when you make payment. Now is the time to say goodbye to downtimes. Sign up with One Data today on 0811 223 2671 or visit www.onedata.ng for more inquiries. One Data, unlimited speed.
Christ Ambassadors International College is a private, co-educational Christian day and boarding school located at Alafin Avenue, Oluyole Estate, Ibadan. We offer a blend of Nigerian and British curricula designed to nurture global leaders with godly values. With world-class facilities, exciting co-curricular programs, exceptional pastoral care, and outstanding academic results, we ensure your child's dream becomes a reality. Our entrance examination for 2026-2027 academic session will hold on Saturday, 14th February 2026 at 8 a.m. For inquiries, please call 0704-530-8414 or 0814-177-2806 or visit www.christambassadorscollege.com. Christ Ambassadors International College, nurturing global and godly scholars.
Are you hungry for something delicious? Food that feels like home but tastes like pure luxury? Then welcome to Honeydew Restaurant, where every meal is made to make you smile. From our smoky jollof to rich ofada sauce to a variety of delicious soups like egusi, eforiro, and more, paired with your favorite proteins and hot, freshly made swallows, all made for you to enjoy. We also handle bulk orders in liters, fresh and ready whenever you need it. We deliver it to your doorstep. At Honeydew, it's not just the food, it's the feel. With our beautiful ambience, perfect for your romantic dates, family outings, or your quiet, relaxing evening escape. Join us every last Friday of the month at 7 p.m. for karaoke night with Jayola and enjoy music, games, food, drinks, and free mocktails and cocktails as you sing your hearts out. Visit us at Plot 42, Block 8, Alaafi Avenue, beside Wells Radio, Oluyole Estate, Ibadan. For your doorstep delivery or inquiries, call or WhatsApp 0814-691-6635, 0814-691-6635. Honeydew Restaurant, where every meal is made to make you smile.
Boost your business with Wells Radio 89.3 FM. In a competitive world of business, strategic brand and product positioning is key to growth. Don't remain unseen in the shadows. Shine a spotlight on your brand with Wells Radio 89.3 FM today. Why Wells Radio? We are your state's #1 family radio station. We connect with the heart of families in your state. As the smallest unit of the society, families trust Wells Radio for quality content and information. Visit us today along Alafin Avenue, Oluyole Estate, Ibadan. Our white and blue building just before Sharp Corner ensures your business won't go unnoticed. Advertise with us today. Call our marketing office on 0903 936 8185. Call Toby on 0803 509 3394. Ayo on 0706 840-7359. Take the leap today. Let Wells Radio 89.3 FM be the megaphone for your business success. You won't regret it.
All right, you're welcome back. It's Perspectives Unlimited right here on Wells Radio 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio, your #1 family radio in the whole of Oyo State. Welcome back. We're taking a look at headlines and stories making the rounds across the different dailies this morning. We've been seeing your calls. Now the phone lines are officially open. 0916-893-1000, 0915-333-4893, and 0911-3333-893. I'll take the numbers again. 0916-893-1000, 0915-333-4893, and 0911-3333-893. These are the numbers you can call to be a part of the conversation this morning on Perspectives Unlimited. Before the break, I did say we're going to talk about the tax laws, the tax law rollout starting from January 1st. Now, we know that just to get you up to speed, if you're not up to speed with what's happening, a particular lawmaker in the Assembly had said that he noticed some alterations in the tax laws that were sent to them, that it was different from the one they had gazetted. And this resulted in them forming a 7-man panel, to take a look at this and give their reports. But for some reason, my analysts, this committee has not exactly given us, the report to say, oh, yes, was it altered? Was it not altered? But we're learning that they want to re-gazette, meaning that they're going to sit down again, take a look at the laws, and then re-append their, will I say signature or agreement to it. Is that what should be done here? Do we brush aside the fact that things were allegedly changed right under the noses of Nigerians and the lawmakers?
Yeah, but that is how we rule. You understand? It seems you don't really understand that in this country, forgery appears not to be an offense anymore. Remember the former Minister of Innovation and Energy, Uche Nnaji,
who allegedly
forged his certificate. Did we hear anything again about it? We didn't. So they treat serious matters lightly. A document that has a lot to bear on Nigerian people was altered, and yet they are looking at it as if nothing has happened. That's to show you how we have degenerated as a people. That leadership is about playing as a monkey business with the people. If we are serious people and serious about moving Nigeria forward, Bola, that thing they did is enough to make heads roll. But because we are this is the place of impunity, no consequences. So they are treating it lightly. Now, if they are regazetting, that's an evidence that something happened along the line.
Something was wrong.
Something was wrong. You understand? And if something was wrong, why not admit? Why not own up and say, yes, I was wrong? It was Abdul Samad Dasuki that came up because he said he went to the Ministry of Information and purchased a copy and discovered he discovered that what we have what we agreed upon harmonized version was not actually what was, and this raised an uproar. How did we treat it? We moved on, and that is why we are where we are today. We move on, and we don't sit down to let's address this problem so that it does not come again, because we have a country to protect. But now we are talking of if you listen to Mr. Taiwo Yedele or Dr. Yedele, he will be saying one thing. If you don't even understand,
he has said that if the tax laws don't start on January 1st, that's going to be a huge issue for Nigeria.
Why is he so obsessed? Why is he fixated on January 1st? What is his problem? Has he ever told Nigerian people, look, but do you know what I advocated for? Because while growing up as a little boy in the Southeast, government then, when they want to pass across information, they do it in local languages. My mother will come back home with some of the pamphlets they shared in the market. We read it to her in Igbo for her to understand exactly what the government is saying. That is what I expected Nigerian government to do through Nigerian Orientation Agency. This tax law thing that is brewing a lot of misunderstanding, why not go local? Let our people, let a woman in Molete Market, in Bodija, in Dubai, understand that, look, this is what we are going to do in Nigeria.
Let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, West Radio.
Good morning to you, sir. Your name and where you're calling from?
Yeah, my name is George. I'm calling you from Oduekun.
You're welcome, Mr. George. Let's have your contribution.
Yes, I know you have moved away from the issue of our porous border, and you are now on the tax reform issue. But you asked a question. So what should we do after Buhari allow terrorists to come into Nigeria? You see, yesterday I heard that some states in the north and some of them in the middle belt, they were commissioning their forest guards, which they have established. It's a good thing. Even if they cannot totally counter the terrorists, they will give information that these people are coming, this is where they are, and all the rest of it. But I noticed that majority of the states in the east, in the south here, did not form that forest guards. Why can't we be together in unison to handle these things, so that we not be as if some people are benefiting and others are not benefiting?
But in the east we have Ebube. What was there's an outfit, just like we have Agune Chamber, just like we have Amotekun in the south.
Yes. Have they been totally accepted by the federal government? That is the area I'm going to.
Okay.
Even before they formed the forest guard in the north, I traveled a lot. I've been to so many states in the north. I went to Kebbi. As I was going, I keep seeing these people with guns. They are working for the government, for the state. They do not have this type of security thing all around them. But we didn't have it here before we form Amateku and the rest of them. Why can't we make it a standard thing for the whole country? That is the question I'm asking. So that as they are running now because of the American bombing, we will be able to stand at the edge of our boundary, and we'll be able to eliminate them, because there's no need saying that let them run. Where are they running to? They have no other business than to kill and maim people. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. George. You have raised relevant questions because there's been so much ado about state police. I know that, what was said about in the Southwest was that we could transition Amotekun into state police. And the good thing would be that by then they would be given proper weapons and not these Dane guns and proper training as well. But there seems to have been a lot of foot dragging about the state police because the Southwest governors met recently in Lagos where they wore Ashwebi. And, I met in Lagos and they said that they spoke about the state police. But since that time, till now, everybody has gone mute.
But they are not on the same page. They are only in that Ashwebi as for people for the camera. Deep down them, they have their differences and they have their political leanings.
Should that stop them from fighting for the greater good of the citizens?
If we have been fighting for the greater good of Nigerians, will Nigeria be like this? Our leaders have never fought for the greater good of Nigeria. If our leaders are fighting for the greater good of Nigeria, will our leaders not patronize our hospital? They will equip it and use it because it's for the greater good of Nigeria. Will they spend like $5 million on their children's primary school in Switzerland? Will they school here for the greater good of Nigeria? They are not fighting for the greater good of Nigeria. That is the abnormality of our situation. So back to what we were saying about the tax. Look, Bola, it will be a great disservice to Nigerian people if they begin to implement what is not understood by the people. Like I told you before we went on that call, this thing should be done in local Nigerian languages. Everybody must be on the same page. We'll understand that, this is what government wants to do. You interpret it in the language people understand, so that you will carry them along. That is governance. You are not in leadership position to ride roughshod over the people. You are there as a servant leader, not a leader. Because if you are leading and nobody is following you, you are taking a walk in the park. So that's the question. If we matter to government, we must be told what is in that book. What did you write? What did you not write? Is it true that you altered it? Why did you alter it? Who altered it? Let there be consequences for those who altered it. Let them know that there is a consequence for every breach of trust. So the issue is that everybody must be carried along. You know what they do? They say Nigerians are resilient people, which is a very good attribute of Nigerians. But they are misusing it. They are using it to make Nigerians look as if we don't know anything. No, Nigerians are intelligent people, and we are workaholics. But the issue is that the tragedy is that we have people who take us for a ride. This tax issue, if it is not brought to the public domain, let people understand who did what, and there must be sanctions so that we talk of budget padding, everything went. What is it that we can stand for as a people and say we must do this in a very good way?
Don't you think that, it's more of the major problem is more of the fact that, no matter how much you speak as a people, the existing processes make it so difficult. For example, if you want to recall a senator or House of Assembly member, it's so difficult. Before we used to say, you can just, recall them. We didn't know that it had so many processes. And so it becomes, there's so much bureaucracy, there's so much red tape around doing the right thing. Okay. And it makes it so difficult.
Let me tell you something. Why that's red tapeism. The ruling class will never make it so easy for the citizens to recall anybody that they want to recall. The system we are operating is not tailored to favor the people. When we talk of electoral reforms, there is a lot to electoral reforms which they pay lip service to. Because if we do electoral reforms holistically, some of these issues you raised will be addressed. But they won't want it to be done. That is why, if we do electoral reforms in such a way that you defect, you elected on a platform, you defect, you lose your privileges, you lose that position. These are some of the issues electoral reform, transparent, honest electoral reform will take care of. But they wouldn't do that. They won't support it because it favors them. Now, people are jumping from one party to another. That is political prostitution. And what do prostitutes do? They jump from bed to bed. They don't have integrity. They have no morals. So whoever comes with the highest money, we go to bed with you. So that is why we will never have a good a service delivery from our leaders, because electoral reform. Now, but let me even shock you before we as we round off.
Move to another
yes,
story.
If good leadership begins with electoral integrity, when it is the court that determines who wins election in a democracy, forget about it. It is the people that should choose their leaders, not the court. So, and once the court begin to choose, go to bed. Forget about whatever you talk about democracy. It can't work. So, electoral reforms will take care of what you have just said, but they will not engineer it, because it will give power to the people who are the ultimate holders of that power. The people. Without the people, there's no democracy.
All right. Let's move on quickly this morning. Yesterday, there was a road crash. I mean, it's not the first time that we would hear of road crashes along the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. However, it happened to Anthony Joshua and some of his friends. We saw the video circulating, around on social media. The video was everywhere. It wasn't a nice, sight to see, and there's been so much conversation from that particular story. There's been so much conversation because of who he is, a former heavyweight champion in the world of boxing. And he's seen so many visits afterwards, the deputy head of mission of the British High Commission. Even the president has sent his best wishes, let's put it that way, his best wishes, governors, and the likes. But let's talk about the accident itself. We learned that, according to preliminary findings, the cause is excessive speeding. And when it happened, we saw videos of, Nigerians around who, immediately got there. And people were trying to help him out, out of the car, trying to salvage the situation as we would naturally do. And while, we learned that the FRC later got their ambulance there, but people were already doing the work. By the time the actual ambulance that should even carry him came, they had gotten him to an hospital. People had already found a way to get him to a hospital. Let's talk about the Nigerian emergency services.
Well,
are they truly emergency services?
You can't blame some of these our emergency services.
Why do you say this?
Yes, why I say so is that some of them are handicapped.
What do you mean? Let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, the beautiful radio woman. A happy New Year in advance. Good morning, Mr. Chukwudeka. Mario.
Good morning, Benga.
Same to you, ma'am. Well, let me start from the last shot you fired, which was the tax reform. See, I think in this tax reform, I doubt if Nigeria would have a say on this, because as of yesterday, I was reading on the on social media that Oyedele, the guy that brought about the tax reform, and that worked with the tax reform, he collected that the guy was given 5 billion for doing that tax reform alone, and you expect him to give in his best. So the thing that he said yesterday that tax reform is going to kickstart, that there's nothing Nigerian can do to stop it, and I was not happy with that statement. But the only person I would have blamed is Mr. President, because he has the power to say that the tax should be placed on hold for now, because unlike the subsidy, when the subsidy was to be brought in, they told us the nitty-gritty of the subsidy and how it's going to better the lot of Nigerians, which some people said they align with that thought, while some people rejected it. And now the subsidy has started for over 2 years now, and you and I could attest to what the outcome has been. Now the tax reform again is coming in. Only God knows what will be what pain will be added to vulnerable Nigerians, because they said if they are collecting 800,000 naira annually, then you are exempted. And
but Mr. Mario, he was paid to do a job, as you've pointed out, as you have rightly pointed out. Wouldn't you say that it's diligent of him, having been paid to do a job, to want to ensure that, this job is well executed?
I know. He was paid to execute the job, but the job you are being paid for is going to the effects are going to bounce back on an average Nigerian. And I'm going to give you the breakdown in a short while now. Now you are saying that if you are collecting 800,000 naira annually, then you are tax exempted. And the question is, how many Nigerian workers are not collecting are collecting up to less than 800,000 naira? Because the minimum wage as speak now is 70,000 naira.
And you'll be
right?
surprised that many people are being paid far lower than the minimum wage.
But the class, those in that kid, they will be so lower. They will be lower. Like I met a couple yesterday, and I was asking him. I said, "How much is the allowing now?" He said, "It's just 77,000 naira." That means they will also be taxed because it will exceed the said 800,000 naira. So the tax, the corporate, so they will be taxed from that 77,000 naira.
But the tax won't be as much because your first 800,000 naira annually is tax exempt. So it's just the remaining that you pay tax. But we don't have so much time for tax education on the show this morning.
Okay, can I go on?
Yeah, please go on to other stories. Yes, please go ahead.
Okay, on the issue of the of Joshua, Anthony Joshua that had an accident yesterday.
Yes.
So though my heart melted, and I prayed that the good Lord will repose the soul of the two guys that died yesterday.
Amen.
And one thing I want to bring up from that is that when on that Lagos Express Road, we usually have trailers that are parked on the road, on the middle of the road, and because they are faulty, and there are usually no sign to tell an oncoming vehicle that the particular that this vehicle is having an issue. So I don't expect you expect an oncoming vehicle to it might be on a high speed. You won't even know because there's no sign. You know, there is this triangular sign that you usually put on the road if your car is faulty.
Yeah.
Some of them, they don't have it. Even if you don't have it, you have to bring in maybe
grass
or leaves or something like that. But that was not there yesterday, and that was why those guys ran into that vehicle and it takes 2 lives. So this is clearly for all road to all holders, including myself, that I don't have that triangular and I'm not to buy this money. That we should all try and get these things so that when our vehicle has a fault, an oncoming vehicle we know and we to swap appropriately. And I want to ask to all the people as well not to be driving on high speed on highways, because if you are driving on highway speed, if there is a kind of emergency, you're not able to maneuver your vehicle for safety. Thank you very much and God bless.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mario. If you have more questions about this new tax reforms, please head over to the Wells Television YouTube page. Okay, it's Wells Television on YouTube. We interviewed someone who really broke it down, and I urge you to go and watch that video. All right, let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to you, sir.
John Okorafo.
You're welcome, Mr. Okorafo.
About Anthony Joshua, it's very, very unfortunate. But now, like Brother Mario was saying that some of the big vehicles doesn't have caution. But you will see road safety, federal road safety, they will go where the road is not good and stay there and be collecting money and leave their responsibility. Meaning that we are the problem of ourselves. Good morning.
Thank you so much, Mr. Okorafo. Now, someone even raised, on one of the groups I'm on Facebook, the person raised something. He said, we know that, accidents happen around these expressways. Why can't we have a stationary ambulance to,
that is it.
Immediately treat, if we have one that is there stationed, at least they can commence first aid before whichever one is coming, also
Bola,
comes there.
The emergencies you mentioned, they have their handicaps, which they may not, a question of, infrastructure, they will need to walk. Many of them are not, it's not that they don't want to do their work, but they are, some of them, if you ask how do they really get their fuel, they like water service, fire, how do they get water? That's why you hear all these things. They are not really, if the government is doing them actually what they ought to give them. I think some of them will perform at a top-notch speed.
All right. Now, as we gradually wrap up, we'll gradually wrap up the program this morning. And thank you so much, everyone, for calling. I'll take this comment on our Facebook fan page from Adedamola Okunlola. We didn't delve into party politics at all this morning. Adedamola Okunlola says, beautiful morning to you. On Wike's denial of the statement made by Governor Makinde that he's holding down PDP for the president. In actual fact, it is looking more like that. It's like Wike is the instrument used in causing chaos in the party, and he has also refused to leave the party just because he's working for another party. I hope PDP scale through the crisis soon. Well, the PDP has debunked rumors that their members are not being allowed or are not going to be allowed to participate in the FCT, elections. And so I guess all is good for now on the PDP front when it comes to participating in the elections. But whatever updates we have, will of course bring your way. But it's time to go. A big thank you to my analyst, Mr. Chukwemeka Munachiso, for joining me on the show. A big thank you to everyone who called and sent messages on the show. My name is Bolanle Oduekun Ayola. The show has been Perspectives Unlimited on Wells Radio 89.3 FM. The sports team is right behind me, ready to take you through the world of sports. But don't go anywhere. We have so much lined up for your listening pleasure on Wells Radio 89.3 FM today. Good morning and God bless you. Please listen to this important information. The views expressed by the interviewee in this program are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views or opinions of Wells Radio 89.3 FM or its affiliated entities. Wells Radio 89.3 FM is committed to providing a platform for diverse perspectives and opinions, and the views expressed by guests on our programs are their personal viewpoints. Wells Radio 89.3 FM does not endorse or take responsibility for the content or opinions expressed by individual interviewees and callers. Thank you. Not just another